Freddy? Look at you. You are so amped. You're so excited. The fact that there's 0 nuggies to be had. Is it going? I think it's going. I don't know. Anyway, welcome. It's Friday. A lot of news dropping today. For one, Trump has been fined for like $400 million in New York. He cannot use any banks registered in New York to fund the fines. He cannot do any real estate transactions. The New York State is basically taking control of all his properties. So yeah, he can't launder the money. It's stuck. It's in New York. It's going to be used to pay those fines. Also, he missed his filing deadline at the Supreme Court for his immunity appeal. They didn't file. So I guess there goes his immunity. And it was found that almost 76% of the traffic on X on Super Bowl Sunday, when they're bragging about how many records they broke, were bots. And so apparently Elon was buying bot farms. Get off there, Fuzz. Buying bot farms to engage with people or each other. It's going to be bots talking to bots at some point. What else? Toys R Us had a halt and then reopened, and now it's up like 200%. It's Australian Toys R Us, TOYRF. Weird things happening there. Super Microcomputer Incorporated peaked over $1,000, is now falling like a rock. So people who were on the let's make money on options train, they're dying a very horrible death right now. What else is the news, monkey? Duh. Oh, whole bunch of buying going on for Acme. Like millions of shares are being purchased right now, which makes me think somebody's going to take the company private, perhaps. That's what it looks like to me. I would personally honeypot it. Honeypot. Anyway, let's get into it. Let's daytime. Let's butterfly. Yeah, let's butterfly. No, come on. There we go.
Houston, we have a problem.
Okay. Turn off the butterfly. Turn off the butterfly. There we go. Ah, cool. Life. Okay, so I'm sure there's other news will come up and we'll hear about it. It's got to be something that's nagging that I'm totally forgetting right now. But I'm sure someone in the chat will mention it, and I'll go, oh, yeah, I was going to talk about that. Chris Taylor's here. Fred Jones is here. Probably Stupid is here. Avocados is here. Michael O'Hara. TOYRF is running. It is. It's running. Avocados, this is like the kids at school fighting about who gets to line up first. Oh, I got noise coming. You know what that means? One sec. Okay. Batman, turn off the Batman, Houston. We're gonna do it today. We're gonna have a smooth show. After the technical difficulties I had because the monkey cam was not showing up earlier. But there's a cat right there, and there's a monkey going, oh, there's a cat. Belgian whale. Houston, I bought 34 BBBY bonds yesterday. What the hell did I buy? I have no idea. I'm not a gambler. I'm an enthusiast. You may have bought essentially shares in the company. I have no idea. We'll find out at some point when a credit bid is revealed or whatever. We don't know. You may have bought cash. You may be getting cash in 2034. for however much you bought. It's total like magic 8-ball shake on that one. Who knows what you're going to get out of it? You might get equity, you might get cash, you might get nothing. I don't know. Roll that dice, man. Apparently you did. Okay. J-Dog, happy Friday. Only 41 days till Mariners season home opener against the Red Sox. Woo! The Mariners, here's what I'll say about the Mariners. If no one gets injured and every player on that team repeats the best season they ever had in their career. I'm not talking about going better. They just replicate the best season they had at some point in their career. The Mariners could go to the playoffs. But if the players that they picked up get injured like they have for the last 5 years for each one of those guys, then the Mariners will be battling the Angels for like 4th place in the league, in the American League West. So that's where it's going to go. But I'm excited. The pitching staff is phenomenal. It's probably the best pitching staff the Mariners ever put together. And they just need people who can like hit the ball and not be made of glass. So that's what we got. Turkish, where's the money? Lenowski. Jay Lenowski. I'm your friend, Law from Wahoo. Happy long weekend, everyone. Oh, yeah, it's a long weekend. So that means we might not have a Monday show because there'll be no trading on Monday. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if I doubt we get cool news over the weekend. William Jones looking forward to Moas, the Neverending Story, Part 2. Cirque Invidiosa, 1882, 12th. There you go. Alexander K. The Moas intro to the Neverending Story should get you hype. I have a new intro, but I can't use it yet. It's for the Nuggies. But I don't have any Nuggies right now. Monkey ate the last ones yesterday, and I need to go get some more. So she can stare at me all day long today, but there ain't nothing for her. Bill Coyne, anyone notice GME is being more and more toned down? People distance themselves from it, whereas in the past, they were on it 24/7. I think it's because nothing exciting has been coming. Like, we haven't had any news. We've had no volatility. It's just kind of sitting at 14-ish bucks and just been kind of doing that for months now. I think that around earnings, we'll start to see some action. And I think earnings are going to be really, really good. That's what my Magic 8-Ball is telling me, is the earnings are going to be the piece de resistance. So next month, things might get interesting. Okay. Not your friend. I'm off today, so I can actually watch the video rather than listen on AirPods while driving. Well, there you go. So I have to throw packages at people. Copy and paste. Breaking: the SEC has approved a merger of DWAC and True Social. President Trump is expected to profit almost $4 billion, given his 58% stake in the company and the current stock price. I mean, he might. Or the board at DWAC, who are all like under indictment, can go to prison. And Truth Social is not worth that much money. Truth Social, right now the revenue is like $1 million a quarter. So about $4 million a year is their revenue. And they lose about $30 million a quarter. So they're losing about $120 million a year while earning $4 million. So the stock price on it is speculation and cult of personality stuff. But I don't think in the long run it's going to work out for people. Because Truth Social is a dog shit platform with no members, no advertisers, and no way to like truly generate revenue. And yeah, but if Trump cashes out his $4 billion instantaneously, I mean, it's going to take a while for him to do that. Then yeah, he can start paying off the fines he's getting from everybody. But yeah, I mean, I'm curious that the SEC approved that. But I mean, seriously, like you can look up the all the indictments for board members at DWAC. There's a lot of insider trading, a lot of money laundering that's gone on. Those dudes are not kosher. Property-based median home alert. Medium home prices are now contracting at levels never seen in 60 years. This is a truly historic moment. They are contracting, and commercial real estate is crumbling. A large office building in Northwest Portland that sold in 2019 for $275 million was sold to their lender for $35 million today. So that is an 85% drop in the value of that commercial real estate. And that is just the beginning of what we're going to see. I mean, we're talking, there's buildings in downtown Seattle that sold for $1 billion. There's buildings in Bellevue, Washington, like a suburb of Seattle that sold for $1 billion, and they're empty. So those single buildings might be enough liability for a regional bank alone to go under. Julio sent me a graph yesterday showing banks. Oh crap! Let's see if I can find that graph. It's a really good graph. Was it? Did you send it to me on Blue Sky or was it in private message? Shit. I cannot remember. Let's find it, shall we? Okay. Bam. Scroll. Okay. Oh, there we go. That's what we want. We want this. Oh, crap. And then I forgot that for some reason I can no longer access Twitter from Chrome. I've got to open up. Fucking Elon, man. That guy's just destroying my way of life here. Okay. Control V. Go there. Make you large. All right. You're large. You are finally going to that thing. And now I've got the link up. And there we go. Okay. Bloomberg. Scene. Mozilla. Shabam. Okay. Dozens of banks rapidly piled up commercial property loans. Yeah, we're talking banks. We talked about this already. The regional banks are the big funders for commercial real estate. Blah, 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 blah. Right. But this one no longer gifted. There we go. Okay, here it comes. So this graph is showing the percent change in how much they took on in real estate and how much money, the percent change it is, and then how much of their loans are of their company, their bank, and then the circle size is how much money those assets are. So we've got some banks out here. First Citizens, 240% growth in how many loans they have, $213 billion in commercial real estate assets. We've got folks up here like New York Community Bank. They had a big old drop in their stock price last week, which brought down a whole bunch of other community banks. They've got 25% growth, 462% commercial real estate ratio of total capital. So they have $111 billion in assets, and they have like $500 billion in liabilities in commercial real estate. This area here, this quadrant here, is basically the banks that meet the criteria for more scrutiny. Basically, the FDIC and federal regulators have to go in and go, okay, you guys just triggered a whole bunch of alarms. Your asset portfolio looks like dog shit, and you might be in trouble. So we may have to seize you if what we find is that you are, in fact, dog shit and in trouble. And these are all First Foundational, West Valley National, Ocean First Financial, Washington Federal. That's my mom's bank right there. I'm going to talk to my mom about that. Axos Financial, Southern Mississippi. These are all regional banks. All regional banks in here, and some crazy outliers. What was this one up here? Well, come on, show me. Oh, there it is. Home Street. That's another Northwest bank. 609.2% commercial real estate ratio of total capital. Every single solitary one of these commercial real estate holdings, doesn't matter if you're out here, right? You could be HSBC North American Holdings. You are jettisoning commercial real estate as fast as you possibly can, right? You've shrunk, but you still have $224.5 billion in commercial real estate that's worth 15% of that, as we've seen in recent sales of large buildings. So, that's about $30 billion they're going to get back for all that. So they've been trying to jettison it as fast as they can. Some other big banks in here, Fifth Third Bank Corp, Key Corp, Santander, that's a Spanish bank, M&T. These guys are all trying to get rid of their stuff. But only a few of them have actually gone negative. So we got a few: Third Federal, Credit Suisse. Well, yeah, they don't exist anymore. Cass Informational, some really small banks. Silver Queen Financial Services. These guys are these are doing the smart one. They're down almost 100%, so they're doing all right. First Command Financial Services, they're getting rid of it. So only 1% is commercial real estate. So those probably the best shape of any bank out there. But yeah, it's going to collapse, and it is going to collapse so hard. Oh my gosh. Everyone in these three quadrants for sure are toast. Anyone with the big bubbles are probably going to be toast. Like, $213 billion in this stuff. They're trying to get rid of some, but again, it's worth maybe 15% of what it says on paper. They're done. They're toast. Ludicrous Speed, Toys R Us is supposed to be making an announcement Tuesday. Pre-market could be merger of taking it private. I don't know. I know that Toys R Us Australia is different than Toys R Us US. It is a ticker for Toys R Us. Perhaps Toys R Us US, which is owned by Macy's and Carl Icahn, join forces and move the ticker from Australia back to the US. I don't know. Whatever's happening, people are like giddy, and they love seeing a penny stock jump 200 and whatever percent it did. So yeah, they're stoked. B-Ball 3710. Is it too late to transfer MMTLP shares? Do I set up an ATS account before I call Fidelity? If you're with Fidelity, they do all the work. So you just tell them, I need a transfer. They're going to say it's going to cost $100, and it's at $100 in your account that's been settled, and then they transfer. So they send all your shares to AST. AST sends you a letter saying, hey, this is how you log in and create an account, and then you log in, create an account, and it's there. So that's all you do. Copy paste. The office meltdown will result in $1 trillion of losses. Real estate billionaire Barry Sternlicht has said, per Business Insider. Easily. I've heard the numbers of commercial real estate bonds being between $500 billion and $1 trillion this year alone that are probably majority going to get defaulted on. Because there's no point in a real estate investment trust. These are like a limited liability company, right? They do not have to pay that money if they don't want to. They can just walk away and be like, man, we're done. And they will. Like, you have a building that's worth hundreds of millions of dollars, or you paid hundreds of millions of dollars and took out a bond for hundreds of millions of dollars on it, and the building's only worth $30 million now. You're not going to pay the principal on that bond. You're just not. It's done. It's gone. Poof. Forever. Never to be seen again. So yeah, you're just gonna walk away, stick the bank with it. Who gives a shit, right? And the bank goes, "Oh crap, we now have more liabilities than we do money from depositors or whatever," and then they go under, and then just chain reactions all over the country, and then all commercial real estate drops even more in value. So that 15% recovery might turn out to be 5% recovery in the end, and then the FDIC is going to spend like $20 trillion trying to keep the economy above water, and all of the insurance claims are going to get filed, and it's going to be a mayhem. Ford ZZ9, Toys R Us announcement incoming, trading halted until big purchases incoming, and ran 286% today. Thoughts? Again, they're doing something. Whatever that something is, man. Good for everybody who got in on it. SJ is here. G'day. Belgian Whale. Happy birthday, H. Question. If I sold if a solid state battery holds 6 times the energy of a lithium, that's 500 kilowatts, how can that charge in 10 minutes? I'm an electrician and don't know shit. The solid state batteries are essentially capacitors. So they charge like capacitors, and then you can kind of throttle how much energy comes out of them. You can discharge them almost immediately as well, but they have stuff in them now they can throttle how much energy comes out of that capacitor. That's basically how I understand it. So that's why they can charge up so quickly, because they can charge like a capacitor, and then you can throttle the discharge like a battery. So that it trickles out rather than just floods out. So that's as far as I understand, like how the aluminum ion batteries work. So yeah, there you go. So and some of them like theoretically can hold like 10 to 12 times as much energy. So if you've got yourself like a whole series of little lithium ion cells that make up like a Tesla battery core, and that thing's at how many watts is it up to? Like 50 kilowatts or something, Kat? I don't know, a lot. That you could actually 10x that in just the cells, and then add even more because there's so much weight in the battery packs for heating and cooling and fire suppression that you don't need that for solid state. So all that other stuff that's used for those things could be more added battery power, or you can just make the cars lighter in general and still get 1,000 to 3,000 miles per charge out of them. So pretty cool stuff. William Jones, Mark Cohodes has had much to say on TOYRF and other stocks. I have not been paying attention to Mark Cohodes at all, period. So I have no idea what he's saying about it. Kelly Reed, looks like UK joined the chat with Japan, second G7 country to fall into a recession. Canada about to join the party, but it's technically is in a recession already with mass immigration and negative, where'd it go? Stagnant growth. Japan and Germany projected small growth and found negative growth. They were like, oh, it'll be like 0.2%. It was like minus 0.1%. UK has been contracting ever since Brexit. Brexit was the dumbest thing. And I know I got some Brit people in here. They're like, it wasn't that dumb. No, it was fucking stupid. Brexit was the dumbest thing your population has done. I'm trying to think of if and when they did something that was more overtly stupid than Brexit. And right now, nothing's really coming to mind. I mean, electing Thatcher is pretty dumb, and destroying your entire manufacturing sector with her. But outside of that, Brexit was the dumbest thing the Brits have ever done. And I say Brits, but really it's people in England who voted for Brexit. Everyone else was like, what are you doing? All the other nations inside the UK did not vote for Brexit. It was so dumb. Oh my gosh. Your economy is going to be contracting and contracting and contracting until you go hat in hand back to the EU and say, we're sorry. We'll never do it again. Can we please come back? And France and Germany will be like, no. And I don't know what you can do after that. But, yeah. It's just... If your entire pro-Brexit campaign was run by the Kremlin and you voted for it, the Kremlin got what they wanted, which was to weaken the shit out of the UK and possibly break up the unified nations and make up the United Kingdom. Because Scotland's like, well, fuck this, we're gonna go solo and we're going to join the EU. Ireland's like, hey, Northern Ireland, come join us. We're in the EU. Northern Ireland's like, yes, please. So yeah, oh my gosh. I've witnessed some dumb things in my life, but that was the dumbest thing the UK has done. Okay. And friend, by the way, thanks to the listener that gifted me the subscription. Was it Monomoth who did that? Someone did the other show. I can't remember who now. Thank you, gifter. Kevin Rain, and happy birthday, Houston. Another power day in the trees, still zen as fuck. 6-year earnings call, TOYRF moving, butterflies coming, and happy birthday, Carl. Oh yeah, it's Carl Icon's birthday. Sixth Street did their earnings call today. The first question came from Wells Fargo about getting money. Oh, I can't remember what the exact question was. It was something like, do you expect to get a return on, dip financing or something it did? And they're like, oh yeah, we're going to get our money back. Not to worry. And then lots of people are associating that Wells Fargo question with the fact that GameStop's bank is Wells Fargo. And you can nuggy stare at me all day long. You aren't getting anything. We have none. There are none. There's nothing for you. Not a single drop or one crumb for you, you pathetic little dog. Nothing. So anyway, I'm getting the stares from the dog here, and she's just locked in. You're not getting anything. You're not getting a thing. So you might as well give up. You might as well give up. I got nothing. There's not one crumb for a monkey butt. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, Wells Fargo. Yeah, they're GME's bank. So, maybe they're like, hey, Wells Fargo, go ask a question at this earnings call. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink, make everybody feel comfortable. So that Sixth Street can give their prepared answer and everyone goes, oh, I like that. So I think that's what's happening. Andrew Stewart, who provided this shirt, by the way. Why do public religious radio stations use lower hertz than other stations? And nice shirt. Nice shirt, Scully. That's interesting because, like, here in Seattle, KOW and is it KBDC? There's the NPR jazz station, the NPR talk station, and then there's like the college radio stations are all like 94 and below. I never pay attention to the religious stations. Those are all on AM too, right? I wonder if it has to do with like the granting, like, the federal government owns the airwaves, right? They are the owners of the airwaves, and you bid for the licensing of various bands. And I wonder if they just sort of like, oh, we'll just keep these, and those will be for the public stations. And I don't know, maybe the religious ones just like lower frequencies because it helps them vibe. That I don't know. That's a good question though. Cameron Mirza, can't wait for next show. 420 Puff Puff Pass. Well, if there's no show on Monday, Rosa might be the 420 show. Because there's no trading on Monday. What do you think? The Square and the devout Muslim woman celebrating 420 with everybody? Does that sound good, Monkey? Yeah? Does that sound good? Does that sound good? Come here. Yes. Oh, you just want to stare at me until you get a treat. But there are no more treats. There's none. Not a single damned treat. Not one. Not one, you scratchy little dog. Okay. I lost my spot. Owen Saunders. Hi, pal. My broker First Trade told me that they categorically won't accept my MMTLP shares back from AST. If they trade again, email confirmation. Okay, you may have to maybe if you go, like, open an IBKR account or something, you might be able to transfer them into there. Seems to make sense to me. Phil Clayton, Houston, happy birthday. Houston baby. Question: Doug Sifu, why is he so butthurt about Bed Bath & Beyond? He couldn't possibly be short, could he? Oh, he's definitely, not only is he short, he's probably authorized 1 billion trades through his market maker. And so the liabilities, let's say the $12 floor price happens along with, a $44 payout per share, right? And he's got 1 billion shares that he's short. He's now liable for like $60 billion on what he probably made. All right, you know what? Shaboink. Calculator time. Boom. I got to turn off the Mozilla. There we go. Okay, calculator. Doug Sifu, All right, we can do the math on this. You $60 a share liability. You short a billion of them. That's $60 billion. Okay, let's see probably how much money the market maker may have made out of shorting those billion shares. Now, a billion shares, that's a lot of shares. Cool. But the price of the stock from April until it turned off entirely went from, I don't know, 50 cents down to 7 cents, right? 4 cents, I think was the low in between all that. So let's say you had an average of 15 cents a share. So you made $150 million. That's a lot of money, right? Doug Stevens was like, fuck yeah, I made $150 million. That buys a couple more mansions and some tennis courts and like Russian mail order brides to pet my forehead. But now that represents how much of 60 billion? You're at 0.25%. So you're going to be underwater about 350x. if chickens come home to roost and there's a credit bid, Virtue Capital will cease to exist on that. They do not have the money to make up for that. And if they have to do $44.5 billion in cash for a payout, they don't have that cash. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist at all. They might move trades through that much. There's like $44 billion worth of trades, but the only way they're going to be able to get cash from that is if they don't do any settlement for a few days. And the clearinghouses are like, where's our money? And then they take that cash and they use it to do a payout, and then they're toast anyway. So there's no way Virtue Capital bounces back from this, if that's the case. That's so much liability. They aren't that big a market maker. Their hedge fund isn't that big either. So that means Ryan Cohen buys the hockey team or gets it in settlement. And so there's no way. There's absolutely no way that anyone survives that. And they're just one of the market makers. I mean, Citadel's probably 2 or 3 times that in liability. And that's why, you have Ken Griffin building the biggest house possible in Florida, because it's hard to take people's homes and civil liability things. And so at least have a couple $1 billion stored up in real estate they can live off of and buy as many bedposts and mayo as he wants. So, yeah, monkey butt. Seriously, dude, I don't have anything. You can sit there and whine. It will not make things appear. Unless, wait a minute. What's that? Oh, shit. I forgot. In one of the boxes that Michael Mister sent, I forgot there's a shitload of nugget. I could surprise you didn't tear into this thing when I went to work. Because that is... One second here. I need to go there, take this, and actually download Doohickey. So I click there. All right, so the internet do its thing. Come on, load. Come on, load. Click on that. Now I got download, right? I forgot to download it. So I'm going to download that. What's it downloading? There we go. Okay, I got to put it. Nuggy time. Good name. Let that load in there. And then how long is that going to take? Is it already downloaded? Well, that went faster than anything else. Okay, now I got to add a source. Boink. I've got to do media file. Click that. New source. We're going to call it Nuggy Stare. Add source. Browse. And timeline. Oh, Nuggy time. There we go. All right. Boom. It's probably going to be huge, and I'm going to have to fix it. One sec. Shaboink. Okay. You're weird, gigantic. Take you. Make you small. Make you big. Make you big. Make you small. Make you... There we go. Nuggy time. All right. Look at this. Look at that right there. Is that what you want? This little strip of stinky beef? Oh, good. Pull hard. There you go. All right. She knew there was some there. Okay. Back up on the shelf you go. All right. That all worked out, didn't it? Yeah, that was good. There you go. That's what you get, dog. The dog knows and I don't know. I forgot that there was some in that box there. So I'm so surprised she didn't tear into that thing and eat like 5 pounds of beef and then never shit again. Yeah? Surprised. Okay. Where was I? What was I talking about? AST. Oh yeah. Doug Seafood being screwed. He's screwed. First Day Productions. Do you see companies like Citadel and Citi and all these other criminals are able to write off their fines as tax deductions? Bigum's covered today. I did not see that, but I do not doubt it. That they're like, oh, 1098. Yeah. And the fines are pathetic. The like $100 billion in naked shorting that Citadel did between 2015 and 2020, they paid a $7 million fine on it. Like, that's the daily interest. Let's see here. One sec. Back to the calculator for a second. Okay. $25 billion is, what's his butt's net worth, right? Ken Griffin's net worth, about $25 billion. He probably gets 5% returns, just conservatively. So 0.05. That means each year he's doing 1.25 billion. Divide that by 365 days. So he's doing, okay, so 2 days. $3,424,000 a day is what King Griffin's passive income is by doing nothing. So if you just put that stuff into like a modestly yielding mutual fund or ETF or whatever, index fund, that's what he's making. So 2 days worth of King Griffin sitting on his ass pays the fine that Citadel got for illegally naked shorting and fudging their books for everybody. No, the fine should be greater than Ken Griffin's wealth. That should be it. So make it painful so they don't ever do it again. Don't make it cost of doing business. Ken Griffin's like, oh, I took the weekend off and I didn't make my $7 million. I'll try that one off. Damn it. I think Alexander's real goal here is to make sure that I have so many intros, I cannot possibly remember to turn them all off. Well, if there's going to be one, I might as well be able to give you a nuggie. Right? Doing the Jaws cam. Roar, roar, roar. Okay. Turn it off, Houston. There it is. Whew, that's the stinky beef. All right. Everything's a shit show constantly, but you benefit from it, so you're happy. All right, quit staring at me. You don't get any more. Philip Clayton. I also heard Doug Seafood may be short bed bath, but I've heard he's long forehead. I mean, as somebody who's going through his own like male pattern baldness, it's funny. All right. You could land a 737 Max in Doug's forehead. I say land, I mean crush, obviously. BFH calls repeat intros of some variety. Damn it, BFH, you paid out. Also, any update on MMTLP or Rose's hearing? Not sure when that is supposed to happen. Well, something that did happen is Supreme Court 9-0 ruled that American citizens have the right to sue government agencies. Which that means that probably extends to SROs that are, given their powers by the U.S. government. So I sent Rosa the ruling. She's probably read it already before I ever sent it to her. So I'm hoping we can talk about that on Wednesday. Ooh, boy. We've not established. I'll contact her on Monday and figure out what time that we're going to do our show on Wednesday. But yeah, we're going to have a lot of, oh my goodness, so much to talk about on Wednesday, and I'm excited. So yeah, so basically the ruling that FINRA has immunity may be thrown out the window by new precedent established by the Supreme Court, which says people can sue government agencies. If they can sue government agencies, they can sue self-regulatory agencies, organizations that are given their power via government agencies, right? So, yeah. So that right there should toss the entire thing. And Rosa should be able to update her claim or her appeal or brief, whatever it is that she's filed. I'd be like, hey, Your Honor, honors, look at this recent precedent that just came down from the Supreme Court. I can sue these people now. They have to give me information. They are beholden to me because I ask for stuff and they have to give it to me. So we'll get some yik-yakking on that. Mr. Etna. Oh, wait. Mr. Navy guy. I thought it was Etna, like Mount Etna. Mount Etna Navy guy. Doug has enough forehead for 2 people. I think that is underselling his forehead. It's a factory, Houston. Aw, sucks. Take your time. No, it's fine. We're good. Like I said technical difficulties. Frozen State Productions, I also found it very interesting that Citi has their entire board is made up of ex-government officials and CIA. Well, I mean, if you're a big giant bank, you want to have people who work for the regulators and or powerful people, because then they help you get laws through and, rub the right elbows at all the agencies you need. I don't think Citi is going to survive this coming downturn. I think they are in worse shape possibly than Bank of America or Wells Fargo at this point. What Bank of America is going for it is that they own Merrill Lynch, and Merrill Lynch owns BlackRock. So that will be the saving grace for Bank of America, but their commercial real estate side, or commercial bank side, I think is toast. Yeah. Phil Clayton, technical difficulties. Well, I never. Yeah. Low B. Tell the roommates that video games need to wait. I did. They know. One of them's out of town. She and her fiance are enjoying. They went to some sort of wedding expo, and then they won like a 3-day bed and breakfast retreat somewhere. So they went and did that this weekend. Anamoth did some memberships. Javi A got one. Low B got one. Mark F, Chris T, and Buck Dot. Ooh, 3 lurkers been hunted out there. Mark F, Chris T, and Buck Dot. Lurker fishing. I like it. Thank you. Thank you, Anamoth. Anamoth. Crispy Chicken's here. Phil Clayton says like and subscribe. Yes. Houston, who was the best Star Trek doctor and why is it Robert Picardo? Is that the guy that played the holodoc? What's his button on Voyager? Yeah, that's him. Yes, he is the best doc in Star Trek. Yes. I didn't know his actual real name. But yeah. Yes. The Doctor. But he was the best doctor in Star Trek. Period. Hands down. Guaranteed. I did Next Gen. Watched all Next Gen over the winter. I now started Deep Space Nine because I never really watched any Deep Space Nine. And first season in, and they do the little sci-fi things and whatnot. My problem is seriously, the set is so ugly, it's distracting for me. I'm like, I know it's like a Cardassian space station that they took over, and it's just supposed to be designed for Cardassian stuff, but like, it's just so unappealing to look at. It's distracting for me. I hope it gets better. But so far, out of all the Star Treks, modern ones, older ones, I think Voyager is my favorite. The other one I haven't seen anything of is Scott Bakula's Enterprise. I never watched that one. So maybe I'll be able to tackle next after I finally do Deep Space Nine. But yeah, no. The Doctor is the best Doctor. Oh yeah, you guys can't see the Doctor. Let's make it so you can see the Doctor. Come on. Barrel. This guy. The best Doctor in Star Trek. Period. You are right. Okay. BFH also unintentionally negotiated 3% rent hike instead of a 5% hike, and I got an extension on when I have to agree to renew. Apparently, I'm one of the better tenants they have. My little sister's rent is up, so her boyfriend just got a job with IBM. Selling AI to companies. And she just got a job. She starts in March as a project manager for the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. And they're like, well, maybe we'll move back to the Seattle. I don't know. And And then all of a sudden the landlord's like, hey, if you extend a year, we'll give you rent for the same price. And they're like, huh, well, that's not so bad. But they're like, if you go month to month, we're going to raise your rent from $2,500 a month to $8,700 a month. And she's like, definitely not doing that one. Oh yeah, mortgage payment on a waterfront mansion is what we're going to be spending for this 2-bedroom condo with no view. Yeah, so weird things are happening. Kelly Reed, happy birthday, Houston. Oh crap, Kelly Reed, you just vanished. Where'd you go? There we go. So are you feeling jacked that this year will probably be the year with a global crash and MOAS happening? Also, when MOAS happens, will you legally change your birthday to that day? Can you legally change a birthday, like a name? Like, I'm no longer born on blah, blah, blah. I am now born on March 17th. Whatever. I mean, isn't it in China, they make everyone's birthday Chinese New Year, and that's when you have that's how old you are, is how many New Years you celebrated. Isn't that how it works? Somebody who knows more than I do can correct me if I'm wrong. Is it factory? Do the opposite on 420. Wear a suit and tie. D, I don't think you're right about the immunity thing you said. He missed his filing. I think they said they're like, oh, we're not going to do it. Trump misses filing immunity Supreme Court. 4 days ago, Donald Trump faced the Supreme Court deadline. Trump must file an emergency petition to the Supreme Court on Monday. Face trial, January 6th riot. Trump misses deadline to appeal civil immunity. There we go. There it is. Boom. So Trump misses deadline to appeal civil immunity case at SCOTUS. He did not make his deadline. Bonk! So he cannot argue that he's immune from civil penalty for things he did while president, and now it can't be heard. So there you go. He's toast on that one. Poorly Stupid, Butterfly Intros, Best Intro. Everyone, we're going to have to do we have so many intros, we're going to have to do a bracketology and figure out what is truly the best intro. Phil Clayton, Dirty Mike, and the boys can't wait till K&G and Doug Seafood go to jail. Physio guy, that shirt, and no cowboy intro. Well, the cowboy intro is a nighttime intro, and it's, as you can see over my shoulder, the blinding light coming through the back of my head. It is not nighttime. It is definitely daytime out there. Chris Taylor, meow. Meow. The Belgian whale. My IEP 21 June 27.5 calls are up 250%. Time to sell for $450 profit. I mean, when you got profit, you got profit. Now, you can diamond hand. You are still several months away from theta decay really taking hold of those things. So if you wanted to chance it, you got some room to do some chancing on that. But profit's profit. So profit's profit. Smooth show to match my smooth brain. There'll be Monkey Butt's going to get hip checked off that bed shortly. So Batman is lining up to take over. And he has. You are small and you are mighty. You fat little turd. He's like such an easygoing dude and such a nice guy. But man, with those other cats, he is such an asshole. He's just like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go fuck with that cat. And he goes over and he's like, whoopah! And the other cat's like, leave me alone. He's like, that was fun. Maybe if I do it again. Whoopah! Poor cat's just tortured. He knows that he's beefier than all of them. And I think he's done the math that the kitten, who's a Maine Coon, Maine Coons take 3 to 4 years to grow. And then when they're done, they're like 40 pounds and they're gigantic. But he's like, well, that cat's going to be out of here by fall when her owner gets married and they move out. So I think I'm safe to kick the shit out of this cat for another 9 months. And he's going to do that because he's such a little jerk. Yes, you are. Well, we got such a scratchy butt. Yes, you do. Okay. Robert Manson didn't know anything about it till today, but Holo is up 268% in 5 days. $17 to $62. Holo. What is Holo? Micro Cloud Hologram. Is that one of the companies that is doing business with NVIDIA? Technology stocks per move, blah, 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 blah. Micro Cloud stock has surged. Why are they surging? I have 101 employees. Best performers Wall Street this year. Oh, what the hell? Don't you do that stuff. Jumps happen, high volume environment, total number of shares traded, blah, blah, blah. There was no major news driving the stocks. They are not one of the ones doing work with NVIDIA. Never mind. The rally reminds me of 2021 when companies like GameStop, AMC, and Bed Bath & Beyond surged for no reason. There was no reason behind the surges that happened in 21. Just totally random. There had nothing to do with with the fact retail investors were like, fuck shorts, let's buy everything. Who wrote this? Crispus Nayaga. That guy, it doesn't know what he's talking about, so let's ignore him. So there's probably some reason it's running, but this guy won't know what it is because he doesn't understand anything. I believe the cat is Chalupa Batman. He is. You are Chalupa Batman. Very good. S2002. What do you think about the 6th Street 10K? I didn't actually read the 6th Street 10K. 6th Street 10K. SEC filings. Street lending. Brink. 10K. Annual report. Dun, dun, dun. It's loading. Here we go. Okay. Okay, we got a whole bunch here. Cautionary statement regarding forward-looking statements. And report contains forward-looking statements that involve substantial risk and uncertainties. Blah, 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 blah. Economic downturns. Inability to access capital markets from economic downturns. Inflation negatively impact things. Risks, uncertainties, other factors identified. Blah, blah, blah. Our company, investment team, 6th Street Global Investment Company, blah, blah, blah. Investment guidelines, investment process overview, management background, references, former center, conducting competitive, selective investment process, blah, blah, blah. Investment review committee, structure investments, nothing, care about that. Equity, blah, blah, blah. Here they are, they're making money. So everything is in the black. So they're making money. Geographic composition, they're making money. Following commitment investments, current portfolios. So these are who they're invested in. Blah, 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 blah. There's all the companies. That's their worth. All of it is lots of money. Bigger than $1 million. Those are the notes they have. I mean, everything's in the black, man. They seem to be making money. I don't know. I mean, someone can read all like 900 pages of this thing and ferret out something, but they're making money. Seems good to me. Seems like they're doing what they should be doing. GV8 Frog, thanks for streaming, Houston. You offer great insight and different perspective towards BYQ play. I appreciate the grind. Doing that grind. B of H, I asked for 1.5 inches off my last haircut, wound up with 1.5 inches left. I just cut my own hair because it's free. I bought a razor. It cost me $30 20 years ago. And Philip Clayton, Houston. As a reverse split with Acme made it easier to go private, taking the float down from 300 million to 3 should it be easier to lock up if the hedge funds want to fudge around? Yes, and I think that might be what's happening. is the float. The total shares outstanding is like 5.7 million. Insiders have about 800,000, which makes the float 5-ish million, 4.9 million shares. And a fifth of the float got bought on Tuesday. And it looks like, I mean, let's see here. What was the volume today? Market cap went up, so the market cap went 15 million up to 25 million. You guys can't see what I'm looking at here. Where's volume? Stock. Volume. So share volume. Oh, only 345,000 today. Interesting. Huh. They had some huge orders in the level 2s today. We're talking like orders for 5,000, 2,000, stuff like that. And just one after another in the level 2s. So maybe people just weren't selling. Maybe the market makers are scared to open up that liquidity. They might know this, smell something's up. But it's up quite a bit. I mean, the low is 389, high is 440. That's a big swing for a small cap stock like that. Fred Jones. No, it's nothing. Frozen Productions, what have you heard about naturally occurring wormholes near the sun? Absolutely nothing. I have never heard of a naturally occurring wormhole happening anywhere ever. So, if it's happening near the sun, this is the first I have heard of it. Wormholes near sun. Is it possible the sun contains a wormhole? And for wormholes, how scientists look for space-time. Scientists find a portal close to Earth through which one can, perhaps the only way to distinguish wormhole be inside one. No, I don't see anything about wormholes. I see people correcting people that sunspots are holes in the sun's chromosphere, but they're not wormholes. That's what's popping up. So no, I've not heard anything about wormholes near the sun. Viva Che 83. Epstein list was quickly replaced by World War Z happening at our border. Immigrants all of a sudden beating up police officers. Immigrants getting free prepaid debit cards. Don't be at the bankers. I have not heard any of that happening. Chad Clifford, let's talk about GME being the greatest investment of all our lives. Well, I mean, we just sit and wait. That's all we can do. We gotta get past the fighting here. No, we gotta quit fighting in the chat. It makes it hard for me to get through things smoothly. Houston, happy birthday. Good to see that shirt. I think it's my favorite so far. It is a good shirt. I like this shirt. I like pearl snaps. I like flowers. I like embroidery. It's a good shirt all around. Plus, my favorite is the steer that's on the cuff. Look at that guy. Both sides. Longhorn, baby. Joseph Lee, do you consider GME a lotto play like with BBY? No. BBY, straight lotto play. GME is a solid long-term play that may turn into a lotto play. No Revolution. There are complications of Brexit. Yes. Nikes. Saw Bed Bath & Beyond ad today on YouTube. Didn't know they were still a physical thing. I'm pulling for you. Oh, well, they're... Overstock.com bought the Bed Bath IP and then changed their name to Bed Bath & Beyond. So when you see Bed Bath & Beyond ads, that's Overstock doing their thing. So, Mr. Lacuna, Brexit was literally the most stupid thing UK ever did, like ever. And I really am trying to think of something dumber. And there may be stuff, but it's not immediately coming to mind at all. Speaking of rest in peace, Navalny. Oh yeah, Navalny. Putin finally killed Navalny, the opposition leader that he imprisoned for the next 20 years or whatever. He was at a hearing on Thursday last week, chatting, joking, smiling, and went for a walk yesterday and then died. He got really ill all of a sudden after his walk and then passed away randomly. People will say, "Yeah, Navalny's really stupid for you to go back to Russia after they just poisoned you with Novichok." And he was like, "No, I must go back and confront my enemies." And they threw him in prison. I understand, like, hey, I need to go stick up to the man and fight, not be a leader in exile, because leaders in exile, well, they abandon everyone, right? But man, the dude literally sacrificed his life to try and be a check on Putin, and Putin won that one. So, yeah. Putin is pro-West, though? Putin is not pro-West. He's the opposite of pro-West. Very opposite of pro-West, which is why he's invading countries that are trying to become allies with the West. He's not pro-West. Yeah. Javier, good day, Houston. What can be the consequence for using robocalls with the voice AI pretending to be the president? The company is from Texas. My guess is misleading voters, which would violate all sorts of laws and going to prison. that's probably the consequences of it. The consequences of doing the action, not criminal liability for those who are doing it, but my guess is they'll use it to manipulate voters. You know, if you have an AI that can talk like Biden or Trump or whatever, you can use that AI to get in fights with people on the phone and be like, "This is Joe Biden calling you up. I want to tell you that your wife is ugly and your pecker's really small." Be like, "What? How dare you, sir? And you know what? I'm going to make sure that we eminent domain your house and put in an LGBT coffee shop. And your child, I'm going to change their gender against your wish." And that person will be like, "Oh, I'm never voting for you again." Rah, click. And so they can definitely do things like that. If the president is calling you, I definitely would be suspect of it in general. Unless maybe like, I don't know, you just won like National Teacher of the Year, or your loved one got blown up in Afghanistan or something. Then it's like, okay, it's probably the president calling me to wish me, condolences or congratulations. If the president's just calling you randomly to be like, "Hey, I hate your guts. Don't you dare vote for me," then it's probably not the real president. Andrew Forster, as a British person, I can't think of anything sillier than Brexit. Right? I mean, I talked about before, Kai Rizdal keeps like going back to England, talking with the same like business owners and stuff. And that flower shop person, 2016, he's in the UK. He's talking to the owner of the flower shop. She's in some little countryside town, and he's like, "Don't you get most of your flowers from the EU?" And she's like, "Yeah." Like, "Won't it make it hard to import those flowers from the Netherlands?" And she's like, "Well, I think it'll be fine." He's like, "But doesn't your entire business rely upon the trade agreements of the open borders between EU countries?" She's like, "Well, yeah, but so you're going to vote to basically close your business?" And she's like, "No, that's not going to happen." Brexit goes through. He calls her and he's like, "Hey, how are things going?" She's like, "Oh my God, Brexit destroyed my business. I can't get any flowers. My business can't exist anymore." And he's like, "We talked about that. We mentioned how you wouldn't be able to get any flowers." And you're like, "Nah, it's not going to happen." And then now it's happened. "So would you vote for Brexit again?" She's like, "Yes, absolutely." It's like, oh my God, what is... I could hear his frustration and be like, "What is wrong with your brain that you would do it again and destroy your business and have no income?" Like, I personally don't understand it. It's like the lady who voted for Trump because she was anti-immigration. That turned out that she was an undocumented immigrant. And then one of the first things that happened was ICE came and arrested her and took her away. It's like, okay, you can support this guy. And then he turned, oh, it wasn't her. Maybe it was like her husband or something like that. Can't remember. But like, leopards eating your face off party. That's what happens with some people. Coffee, Donuts, and Homer. Now that Jon Stewart is out of retirement, maybe he can do a few shows on Citadel's Miami Exchange. I'd be curious to see what he does, because I think what he's doing is only election stuff on Mondays, right? So I don't know if he will expand from there, because I think he's just doing Monday shows for the year during the election, because he got fired from Apple for probably talking about stuff that Apple didn't want him talking about. Cactus Whack, don't know how Pulte can state second inning when he also states he doesn't know anything. Whatever happens when it happens, and we can hope for the hype dates and psych ourselves up and then get let down again, and just do this. Just do this. Hang out. Watch a show. Don't watch a show. Read a book. Don't read a book. Go for a walk. Don't go for a walk. Like, just twiddle those thumbs, and eventually something's going to happen, because you and I don't have the power to make it happen. Someone else has the power to make it happen. It is in their hands, and what we've done is we've latched ourselves onto a possible outcome of those decision makers making their decision. And if they do, poof, then we may get showered with money. We may have the opportunity to decide a price we want for our stock, or maybe they make a decision like, it's too much work. Well, fuck it. It's all dead. And then we go, oh, more ramen noodles for me. So just chill, man. All you gotta do is chill, relax. People know things, people don't know things. Nothing we can do about any of it. The Belgian whale. If we end up having to be paid for BBBY, that's going to be such a shit show and hassle for everyone. Brokers are going to go crazy from the calls of people whose shares they sold penny for the lot. Yeah, I think if they sold your shares and they weren't supposed to, because that's not what any of the documents said, they're going to be facing giant lawsuits. They're going to have to go out into the market and buy those shares, or at least produce some facsimile of them back into people's accounts until they can go buy them. And it will trigger an even bigger spike on the ultimate price for these things. Lisa saw GTII went up 60% today in the last hour of trading. Could something be brewing? Well, I did not hear about that. GTII. It did. Look at that. We're sitting low, and boom, jump right there up until close, 4 p.m. So it went from 22 cents to 35 cents. So that's a 61.94% gain. Any news? Any news? Any news at all? Any news at all? Day ago. No. Global Tech Industries Group. Stock rise, top of industrial. That's 3 days ago. I don't know. What was the volume? $252,000 shares, below average volume. I don't know what's going on. It's like not quite, a little bit more than half average volume. Oh. Weird things getting weird right here in February. Coffee, Donuts, and Homer. That graph was like the one Mike Burry posted before the failures last year. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. These banks are so liable for so much commercial real estate that, if the sales of buildings in DC, in Tampa, Seattle, Portland, Los Angeles, if those are indicative of what the future holds for these commercial real estate bonds, every bank will have less money than what their depositors put in. That's basically what that graph was showing us, that they've got so much money tied into commercial real estate bonds and loans, and they're not going to get a dime back for any of them. So, yeah. Coffee, Donuts, and Homer. Don't forget the Fed Bank lending program ends in March. The regional banks are in trouble. Huge trouble. And yes, Nuggy intros. You got 2 of them. Good job. Whisker Biscuit. Was it you that said Paul Allen bought $67 million Mercer Island estate? I don't think it was me. Or was it you that bought Paul Allen 67? Oh no, I did not buy Paul Allen's Mercer Island estate. I have no interest in living in Mercer Island. They've got bridges. I prefer ferries. But I did not know it sold. I know his sister's been trying to figure out what to sell. She's been the executor of the estate and like taken over the Paul Allen Vulcan real estate and stuff like that. I don't know. I've often assumed that she'd be selling the Seahawks to somebody, but she hasn't done that yet and has been still like, solidly running the team. He owns a huge amount of downtown Seattle, or she owns it now. We can bring up yield Google Earth here. We're still in Boston, Google Earth. But there we go. Exit Street View. I'm going to leave the country. Come on, get out of here. Leaving Boston. Make ourselves go north. Womp. And let's fly across the country. So downtown Seattle, there's a couple of things that Vulcan, which is Allen's company, owns. First of all, the headquarters are right. So they own the football team, and they're partial owners, I think, in the soccer team. And then this building, that's a train station. Which building is it? It's one of these. This one. No, this one. This one. This is the headquarters for Paul Allen. Based in here. That's where all the guys that do all the crazy real estate stuff and weird science research and cancer research are all based out of here. And then you go to South Lake Union, which is this region here. This is South Lake Union. And this is almost all of this. This whole area here is almost all owned by Paul Allen's estate. They offered buildings for sale, but Amazon, which put their headquarters here, instead was like, no, we'll just lease them. So you build the buildings, we'll lease them. So all these skyscrapers in here are like new. There's probably a couple million square feet of skyscrapers in here. And it's all owned by Paul Allen's company, the Spheres, which you'll see in sci-fi movies a lot. That's all there. What Paul Allen tried to do is he bought up all of this. And then around, I don't know, like 99, 2000, he said, hey, let's make a grand park in Seattle. I will give all this land to Seattle if the citizens of Seattle agree to spend $60 million turning it into a park. And the Seattle voters are like, ugh, $60 million. I don't want to spend that money. And they rejected it. And Paul Allen's basically like, fuck you. I will turn it into an Amazon headquarters then. And then Seattle's like, but you're building so many buildings. He's like, you had your chance, bitches. And now I'm going to use this property for something else. So all this region here is all owned by Paul Allen. And it's all been turned into Amazon headquarters. Like, there's probably 30 buildings in this area that have Amazon people in it, or had Amazon people in it. I don't know what they're doing for work from home now. But this is where the South Lake Union trolley, the slut, is. So you can ride the slut right here through Amazon country. Ride that slut. So yeah. And then he had an aerospace company, got this giant heavy lift ship that would like take things up to really crazy altitudes and then release them and then go into space. But that whole thing kind of fell apart after he died. They did their like one launch, and then I think she sold the company to somebody else on that. Yeah. So, but a $67 million estate on Mercer Island, my guess is probably somewhere south facing. Something big. I don't know where it would be. It's pretty dense through here. Beach tennis club, pretty dense. Beach park. Wonder where it was. Let's see if I can find it. Paul Allen estate sold Mercer Island. His widow, I think, has been buying homes on Bainbridge and fixing them up. So a friend of mine does private security, and he got hired to like do security for this lady when she comes over to like work on her homes, because she likes the whole HGTV thing. And he didn't know what else to do with her, so he like introduced his mom to her, and now her and his mom are like best friends, and they go to Home Depot and like look at fixtures and stuff and then fix up houses. It's a hobby. 6 homes and 2 plots of land located on Mercer Island were sold for $67 million by Allen's estate in July. Allen at one point owned 11 properties on the island, which is across Puget Sound from Seattle. No, it's not across Puget Sound. It's Lake Washington. People don't know where things are. Microsoft Plug State sells on Mercer Island. This is August of 2022. So it sold a while ago. So there was 6 homes, 2 plots of land. So I wouldn't be able to find out where that was. Huh. Interesting. Okay. Anyway, back to here. You need to buy a car first. I have a car. I just got to fix the trunk because it's smushed in, and that's gonna need to pull that out. And we're doing that tomorrow. Then the car will be totally fine. Except it won't. So I bought a plastic bumper, right? Bought this plastic bumper to go on the back of the BMW, and it's coming from Texas. So I bought it. It's like $300 to buy the plastic bumper cover, $200 to ship it, $500, whatever. And hasn't shipped, and hasn't shipped, and hasn't shipped, and hasn't shipped. And finally get a message from this guy who's like, I keep looking for someone to ship it, and it's going to cost $493 to ship. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, who are you asking? So I call up UPS. I'm like, hey, I've got an awkward sized box. It's 77 inches long, 20 inches high, 24 inches wide, and it weighs 8 pounds. How much to ship it? And they're like, oh, it's like $110. So I messaged the guy back. I'm like, just have UPS do it, ding dong. And it's been a week, and I've not heard from him if it's shipped. Like, I need this bumper so I can get the blinkers in and I can drive this car around. And I didn't want to, I was like, if I go to a pick and pull, there'll be like a red one and a yellow one, not the same color. I found one that was the right color and I bought it, and it just isn't shipped. Like, why are you selling stuff you can't ship, dude? Why? I'm not driving to Texas to get this stupid thing. Send it to me. Okay. Avocados now want nuggies for dinner. Carlos R. Ola Wade. So question. Did I lose my 5,100 BBYQ shares in Fidelity? What do I do? Also, I have faith in No Labs. 2,000 shares and adding every chance I get. Thank you. I don't think you've lost them. When I looked at my statement for BBYQ, it listed it as reorganization. My tax statement is something different. And that tax statement's like, you have a loss. And I'm like, I don't want a loss. And so I'm going to hold Fidelity's feet to the fire on that one. I am not, I already postponed my taxes. I'm going to do it in October and deal with it then. But I don't think so. And if for some reason they're like, we're issuing new equity to all of our shareholders, Fidelity will know this and they'll go, fuck. Okay, we got to put all these shares in people's accounts. We'll have to figure out how to do that. And they'll do something because they don't want to deal with the lawsuits. They'll come in, they'll hammer them into the ground if they don't give everyone their shares. So I think if there's new equity issued, I think you'll be fine. Meister, have you seen the 1099 from the guy that shorted BBYQ on Twitter? It shows a realized win. Doesn't mean it's the short's officially closed. Well, he was asking Schwab to realize his position, which means they took on the liability. So that was Phil? That was his name? Paul? Phil? Something like that. He was like, hey, can you close my position? She doesn't trade anymore. Close it. And Schwab said, okay. So that means Schwab took on the liability, and he is out. He does not have the liability anymore on that short position. So he may have won on that one. He also had some problems. People were finding stuff that were weird and photoshopped of things he was showing. But, you know, we'll see. I don't think most shorts closed like that. But there's still liability there somewhere for someone. Frozen State Productions, I had no idea the fractional reserve banking system was developed well before the time of Christ. Consecutive Roman emperors were executed in England. Consecutive Roman emperors were executed. A king in England executed. The Fed is old and bad. What? I thought fractional banking came about with investment banks in Florence. Fractional banking supposedly has its roots in an era when gold and silver were traded. Goldsmiths would issue promissory notes, which were later used as a means of exchange. Smiths used deposited gold to issue loans with interest, and fractional banking was born. Okay, let's see what this is all about. Oops. Turn off the Google Earth. Okay. Fractional banking, okay. U.S. National Bank Act was 1863, required to keep banks' reserves on hand, deposit their funds, blah, blah, blah. So that didn't tell us exactly when it started. How about when was first fractional reserve bank? 17th century. However, modern system of fractional reserve banking as we know it today emerged in Europe, 17th century. During this time, goldsmiths in London began to offer deposit accounts to their clients who could deposit their gold and receive paper receipt in exchange. Okay, so 17th century, 1600s. That says London. It was investment banking in general that started in Italy. Swedish Riksbank was the world's first central bank, created in 1668. Too fast money, so it's at least hundreds of years old. Modern system began developing in the early 1800s. Yeah, there you go. See what I would do with Nub. What up? 7 inches of snow and 2 driveways cleared. It snowed Wednesday night. We got 2 inches of snow here, and then by the time everyone woke up in the morning, it pissed rain. It was all gone. But town next door, Paulsville, got 5 inches of rain. School was canceled. Or 5 inches of snow. School was canceled. Crispy chicken. I make me hungry too. Oh, crap. The reset. Chris Taylor, happy Friday. Houston, any recent quake or volcanic action on our rock worth mentioning? Also, did I hear there was a big rare earth metals find the other day? I mean, there's always rare earth metal finds. They happen all the time. There's been a huge one in California. There's been a couple in Wyoming. There's been one in Maine. The problem is that the U.S. government does not subsidize any mines or markets for materials that come out of mines. So we find these huge reserves of rare earths that could easily, change the scope of the natural resources for the electronics market. And they desperately try to get investments and banks to come in. And they might start mining, and then go to the market like, oh, we're going to sell our wares. We're going to sell our resources here in the market. What the Chinese government does, the Chinese government drops the price well below anything that these dudes could sell for. And then the mine goes out of business. It's happened every year for the past 30 years. So China dominates the rare earths market because they subsidize it, and they basically drop the price illegally, which should be WTO sanctions and whatever, to maintain that control. What needs to happen is the U.S. government needs to, for national security purposes, subsidize the rare earths market. They need to say, hey, if you are a military contractor, you are a U.S. company, you're going to have to buy from the U.S. market these materials and not from China in order to do it. And maybe we'll pump $1 billion into this mine so they can get all the machining and tooling and everything else they need to get things going. It would be smart if the U.S. government just bought the company and opened it and mined that material and then forced a market for it with domestic tech companies, then they'd be fine. We would have the national security of knowing that we have these materials that are exploitable and needed for if anything happens in the future, supply chain issues, wars, etc. But we're not that forward thinking. We're a bunch of stupid idiots who think, well, we'll just make it so they can stake a claim. It should be fine. But that's not what China's doing. That's not what other nations do. Other nations are like, hey, look at these giant resources we own. Let's figure out a way to make a shitload of money off of it by helping out the miners to make it happen. And we just don't do that here in the U.S. We're dumb. We're really, really dumb. Okay. I'm so far behind. I only got like 4 minutes to go. I've got to get to work early because I have to get Chupa Batman his asthma medicine because it's going to run out on Sunday. So we can go do that, right, you little turd? Right, you stinky little fart butt? Yeah. Gregory T. Voyager Doc is top tier, but Deep Space Nine is best overall series. Maybe it gets better from there, but I don't. So far at the moment, I'm only like 5 episodes in. I'm like, meh. I'm sure it will get better. That's all Star Treks get better as time goes on. Once all the actors get comfortable with each other and they figure out the dynamics and everything. BOH, that's civil liability. He made the SCOTUS deadline for the DC election interference criminal case. Did he? Okay, maybe made that one. Greg, I'm no fan of Trump, but we can all go in on Mar-a-Lago for $35 million like the court in New York thinks it's worth and make a profit. Why not? Steve Dyson agreed Brexit was the dumbest move caused by the arrogance and incompetence of the Remain campaign led by the PM David Cameron. They ignored disenfranchised by Thatcher north of England. Yep. From Midlands on up, they just... It's ever since Thatcher. That's my father calling, probably asking if I need a ride. 1 second. I'm going to mute everybody. Un momento, por favor. Sorry about that. My ride is coming in just a couple minutes, so I'm going to have to leave even sooner. Oh, well, I can do like one more, and I got to bail. For really stupid dude, wormholes occur naturally all the time. They're all from my mom's garden. Steve Dyson, bottom line is, do you really believe the establishment will allow MOAS? If not, what will happen with BYQ, etc.? I think the establishment wants to not allow MOAS, but when a black swan event comes along, they don't have a choice. Like, do you think they really wanted to have the entire, mortgage-backed security market collapse to absolutely nothing and vaporize everybody? No, they didn't want that to happen. It just happened. They could try all they wanted to ignore the reality of what was coming, but by then it was too late. They have no control over the value of commercial real estate. That's going to dematerialize so fast and faster than what they're hoping it will do. The Airbnb death spiral that's happening, which is causing homes to flood the market as rentals, and then those rentals to then default and turn into short sale and foreclosures. That's going to start spiraling. We still have problems with inflation. We still have problems with Chinese bonds and Chinese real estate. We've got weird things happening with, pirates in the Red Sea, like World War. Like, we're just, they can't control those things. They can control what they can control until they can't control anymore, and then it just spirals out of control, and that's it. Because you have to understand, like, the bureaucrats in these big companies, like the people that make things run, if they don't get paid, they don't make things run. They do, all right, I'm going to go to the next company, or I'm out of a job or whatever, and then the whole thing just goes flunk, and it's gone. So you can have all the plans in the world you want, but if you can't cut them a check, you're not going to have anyone enacting it. It's just not going to happen. So yeah, they can try all they like, but at some point it just gets out of their control, and then that's that. And on that note, have a good day. I may try to live stream my brother and I straightening this car's rear end tomorrow. So if I can find a good spot to put the camera, we'll do that, and you guys can watch us struggle and scratch our heads about how we're going to do this. And there you go. All right, everybody, you have a great day, and I will catch you at some other point, perhaps with one of these. Okay.